Norbert Putnam and David Briggs, bought this house on Grand Avenue in 1969 with the idea that they would use it mainly just to record demos. And then what happened is they met a producer in New York by the name of Elliot Mazer. And Elliot just loved the space. He thought it had a great feel to it. And he said, hey guys, why don't you make this a master recording studio? I mean, like, let's make real records here, not just demos. And, he said, if you invest the money into it, Elliot promised that he would send some work their way, that he would bring some of his clients to that studio to use.
A little bit of everybody. Neil Young, Joan Baez, Dobie Gray, Linda Ronstadt, James Taylor. This was the place to record anything that was non-country during that time.
Some of the most important, albums that were ever recorded in Nashville were made at Quad. It's the first major album that was ever recorded there was Joan Baez's album called Blessed Are, and that album featured her biggest hit, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. I mean, that was a huge hit in 1971, and that was the song that put Quad on the map nationally.
That whole Neil Young Harvest thing was kind of a fluke. They just happened to be in town to do one of the last Johnny Cash shows. And when they were going to go on the show, they decided to have this big dinner. And Neil was like, well, can you get a band together tomorrow? And I got some stuff I want to put down. And that's the real interesting thing, is how things like that back in the day, split decisions, came to be history.
I think that Johnny Cash show is part of the catalyst that brought all these people here.
Yeah, it definitely was.
All of those
yeah.
rock and pop acts were showing up to be on Johnny Cash's TV show, which he taped at the Ryman.
And Johnny was bringing in people like Bob Dylan and Linda Ronstadt and Neil Young and Joni Mitchell to be on his show.
Yeah. And while they were here, a lot of them stayed to do some work, and a lot of that work happened here.
David and Norbert, you just can't overstate their importance. They opened up this studio, Quad, Quadraphonic Sound Studios, which became, this wonderful studio that produced some of the greatest records in popular music.